Aloha and welcome to Marriage on the Spot. We're your co-hosts, Kent and Elizabeth Kitagawa. Today we're going to be doing a follow-up of a session that we had done earlier called Love and Romance.
Mm-hmm.
And that was about Valentine's.
Yes.
And really every day should be a Valentine's Day anyway,
Yes.
right? So this episode we've entitled Date Your Mate.
Yes, every
Right.
day we could date. Well, we probably don't have time for every day a date, but we will share a little bit more what we think is important for a couple, not only when they date, but when they are married, still to date and get that romance flowing. And that's why we're bringing out that it's we didn't even have that on Valentine's yet. We just got that from the Valentine's sale. So happy date month, March.
So this is again was just a lot of bullet points of just really good advice from experts in the field. It's from a website called Your Tango Experts, and they, these are just well-known and very experienced therapists, relationship experts that shared just some real nuggets, and we'd like to share those nuggets with you. So, first one is, I think, an important point that we don't always think about, in fact, most of the time we don't, and that's, many times we don't take care of ourselves. So loving our marriage starts with first taking care of and loving ourselves, and being the best us that we can then share with our spouse. This is from Mary Jo Rapini, who is a licensed professional counselor, and she says many of her clients say the reason their marriage fell apart is that they became depressed and then disinterested in their partner. If you keep on working on you, your marriage will stay fresh and vital. Start today by adding a new wedding vow to your list. Promise to take care of yourself so you will continue to age with grace and continue to have confidence to stand by your partner's side.
So are you going to add that in your next wedding you performing for the couple to
And next to the thing, I promise to always pick up my dirty underwear.
Well, take time to have some fun together every day. As you can maybe tell, if you have seen us many times on Marriage on the Spot, we have done a few hundred episodes so far. We have a lot of fun, even on the air. We goofing around, not only at home, sometimes on the air, but goofing around, you call me usually goofball, has kept us going through a lot of trials, and not to laugh at each other. That's a different story. We do not laugh and make fun of the other person, but to have fun together when we sometimes in the kitchen or do something else. And maybe you heard the story years ago. We were in a coffee shop with the kids at that time. They are all grown up and parents themselves, but they were still with us then. And one of us, it might have been me, came with the idea to throw an ice cube at you. Well, we did that 2-3 times, and then you got in trouble. You ducked, and the ice cube hit the other lady in the back. And the kids, they were between totally surprised that the parents are so goofy. I think a little embarrassed, but then also they really laughed. So it's okay to sometimes be a little goofy and enjoy life, enjoy being together, just like when you were dating. How many times when you date, you know, you surprise each other, or you do something a little bit out of the box. So don't lose having fun in your marriage.
Yes, very important. And before you get mad or assign blame, take a breath and ask your partner for his or her perspective. And that takes a lot of, forethought, because it's easy for us to just react. But we have to recognize that a lot of times we're blind to our own responsibility in a situation. And we can create, our own crises and then blame our partner for what, really we've kind of started. So, what we need to do is stop and really take a look at, is it something that, maybe we said, that we instigated, or maybe it's something that just happened. It's just, happenstance, and we just can't do anything about, and our partner is just as, shall we say, a victim of happenstance as we are, and to blame them is unfair. And I think this person is also a counselor, and he uses this example. It's your spouse's job to walk the dog in the morning, but you discover there's dog poop on the kitchen floor, and cleaning it up makes you late for work. Instead of immediately placing blame, saying something like, I'm puzzled about what happened with Spot this morning, and is a gentle way to start a conversation, In other words, try to elicit, some feedback from them and allow them to, speak their part, their side, and, start a conversation instead of criticism. Yeah.
Well, you can change your relationship even in situations like that you do what we sometimes say. If you do it in a store, say thank you and please and oh, I'm sorry and whatever, why don't you do it also in your marriage? Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Or I'm sorry, I forgot to do that. Instead of always trying to talk yourself out of it and blame someone else maybe and not be responsible for it. And also, love you. I said to you the other day, it was still in the morning, maybe 9:30, 10 o'clock. I said, do you know how many times we said today, I love you? And you looked at me and you said, I love you. I said, yeah, but we didn't count. We never count. It's too many times a day that we making compliments, especially now that you're retired and you're more often at home, or semi-retired.
Semi.
Then, yeah, semi. And I'm semi. So that makes a whole. Yeah, it's something we do often, making compliments and holding hands and say, you know what? I'm really glad I married you. I'm glad you're here. I'm thankful we can have lunch together in the middle of the day together and stuff like that. Keep that romance flowing.
Yeah, Yeah. And, you know, going along with that is, you know, appreciating your partner, you know, and speaking those words of appreciation to our partner, you know, making sure that, you know, that we're voicing. And, you know, sometimes we see things and we say, oh, that's nice. And, you know, inside we may feel some gratitude for something that our spouse has done for us, but we never voice it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we never voice it, and how sad that is. You know, because those are perfect opportunities to recognize and you know to celebrate. You know, you know, celebrate.
Yeah, don't do it only on a funeral.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she was the most wonderful wife. He was the most wonderful, fun husband. But you don't even share it
Right.
while you are still alive and enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing we can do, and I like this, and this is from a dating coach, of all things, right? I didn't even know they had such. Make a list of 3 of the happiest moments in your marriage and spend a few minutes each day reliving those types of moments in your mind, the results. Now, this is for yourself now. Just making a list of those and reminding ourselves of those happy times. you
Yeah.
know.
Like
And-
I mentioned when we read through that list, sometimes we cannot experience it again because situations are different now. We got older, the kids are not home, or whatever the situation is, you know. But still reliving what we had without necessarily wishing, oh, I wish we could go back to there.
Mhm.
But let's figure out what else we can do
Mhm.
to have an equal joy
Mhm. Mhm.
in
Mhm.
our hearts
Mhm.
and in
Mhm.
our marriage.
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes it's just a matter of, you know, of talking about that, remembering, you know, reminiscing
Mm-hmm.
together
Mm-hmm.
can bring back those feelings too, you know.
Yeah,
Taking
that
time.
just takes me back. By the time this shows in a week or so, we're 39 years married, Kent.
Wow.
Happy anniversary. and this loving statue I gave you for the 25th anniversary, and we do marriage on the spot almost ever since.
Mhm.
So just like this couple here is very steady in loving each other and holding hands and staring at each other, that could be us.
Mhm.
Look at your husband, look at your wife, hold hands and look at each other.
Mhm. Yes, and speaking of that, that's a good segue
Mhm.
to the next point. You know, in order to keep that spark alive and avoid becoming just roommates, you know, what they call the roommate syndrome, couples have to understand the notion of spending time together versus creating what he calls sacred time together.
Mhm.
You know, spending time together can be just going to social events, going to family, you know, get-togethers, and doing chores together, or, you know, even, you know, going to
Driving to work together in the
Yeah.
car
yeah,
at the age one.
yeah, you know.
That's an hour
Yeah.
giving to each other.
But those are
That's-
but that's just being together, but not
Yes.
necessarily sacred time. And
No.
this is what sacred time is: meaningful time.
Yeah, when we can look at each other, when
Right.
we can
Focus on
face to face and not looking into the
right,
traffic
not
or
watching
looking
TV,
at everybody else
not
or
necessarily
watching
watching a TV
watching
show
marriage
or a
on
movie.
the spot.
or
At least
necessarily-
hold your hands
Yeah.
now.
Mhm. yeah, yeah. It's you know, sharing new experiences, going, you know, hiking or trying out a new restaurant or learning something together.
Like when you learned to ski, when I was teaching you to ski.
Oh, Well, yeah.
You went backwards
That
into
was
the
a new-
tree.
Yeah.
But we had fun. I had fun.
Well, you had
I had fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of mileage out of that memory. You know, or just creating like having a staycation together. But
It's-
it's meaningful time,
Yeah.
and this is why it's important to build those times, those moments into our relationship, and not just take for granted, the times that we have, say, just like I say, doing the day-to-day kind of stuff, doing chores or something. That's not a date, by the way.
Yeah. We actually, whoever that wrote that mentioned do your date every day, every week on the same date. That might be for many people a little bit difficult if you have a irregular schedule. But for us, we actually decided at the beginning of the year, now that you are semi-retired, that Thursday is our day off. And Thursday is when we go on a date or do something special. And most of the time we can do it, not every time, but most of the time Thursday is our special day where we don't take any appointments, or we're trying not to have any meetings, and just enjoy it. And Tuesday is usually our study day, Tuesday afternoon at least. So we had to make a little bit of schedule, but it's fun to go on a date, even though sometimes it's just going up on the hill, half a mile from the house, and just looking over the Pearl Harbor or whatever, and talking and doing some marriage exercises of talking with each other and getting to know each other better, even after 30, 40 years.
Yeah, because people say, "Oh, I know, we've been married so long, I know this person," but you know what? We really don't. We never stop changing as human beings. We are always growing until we stop breathing. We're always changing somehow.
Evolving, yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
it's keeping up.
Yeah.
with the
What was
change.
your favorite song 30 years ago might not be the favorite song today,
Right.
or
Definitely not.
even other things or TV shows or whatever.
Right.
It definitely has changed, and there's a lot of things we're going through changes. The other day at home, I did the 5 love language test. We talked about that on the air a few times, and I was amazed that one of the love language for me changed a little bit. Now, as I'm getting older, the acts of service became very important to me, because I can't do everything what I did 20, 30 years ago. I can't see as well. I can't climb anymore. I can't go down too far. So, and luckily, I have a husband who's younger than me, who still can do that, or he's tall enough to get me the stuff down from the. So so it changes. So learn to get to know your spouse on a regular basis.
And it's good to maybe even once a week sit down and look at your future together, or I would say at least doing it at least maybe a monthly exercise together, an activity of sitting down and just seeing what is our vision. What is our vision for individually,
Mhm.
what kind of goals are we setting for ourselves, and what is our shared vision
Yeah.
as a couple,
Yeah.
and then just seeing, tracking, at least monthly, where are we in our, you know, in our moving towards that vision, those vision, and
Yeah,
how are we doing,
Yeah, even in the career, in
Mhm.
our work, we got to such a point about 8 years ago where we said, is that what we really want to do until we drop dead or whatever? Or do we want to change a little bit? We both felt fulfilled, but we knew there was a little bit more, and there was a lot of talking going on. And you went back to school for another master's and got your master's in counseling. And I thought, well, I can't stay behind too much. So I got my certification in life coaching, and
Actually,
then
you starting faster than me.
I beat you, yeah,
Yeah.
because you had more to study than I did. I gave you, and so now you're helping me to get my stuff ready
Mhm.
and get the website going and all that stuff, and then we have to help each other. And sometimes the spouse is a little faster, and sometimes the spouse is a little bit slower than you, but try to maintain a growing relationship where you grow, where you not just get stagnant.
Mhm.
Study together, or ask each other what they are studying. What are you listening to? What is that?
Or what
And
would they like to do?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a matter of learning a new language.
A new
together.
language or new sports, or so. Some people going to maybe tennis or jogging, which was not my sport. I'd rather be in the water.
Table tennis is better for.
Yes. So do something together and encourage each other. Wherever you are, encourage each other to grow together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and along with that, again, it's communication. Getting back to communicating with one another, and especially taking time. Every day we talk about, set aside 10, 15 minutes every day
Mhm.
to talk to one another on more than just, the surface, level,
Mhm.
to really
Yeah.
listen to your,
Not just do we have gas in the tank for tomorrow?
or what,
Oh.
when's the next PTA meeting or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
but really getting to talk about, what are you experiencing? What was the best part of your day today?
Yeah, you asked me that yesterday.
You
We
know?
asked each other,
Mm-hmm.
and we were a little bit surprised
Mm-hmm.
the outcome.
Yeah.
We didn't really know
Mm-hmm.
what it was until dinner. It was at dinner time, yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes we ask, what was your greatest moment? Or what were you, what,
What was the hardest time? Sometimes,
Yeah.
what's most, what are we, dealing with? What are the obstacles, or what are some of the difficulties that, we haven't shared? With
like
one
the
another.
like the parrot says, the withholds.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes we have withholds. We take it for granted that you're taking the trash out. Most of the time I say thank you.
Mhm.
And sometimes I even help putting the new trash bag in. That's about how far I get. You take the heavy trash bag out. Or little other things, like, can I make your toothbrush ready? Or, when we leave something, or something small, when we can just say, hey, thanks for doing that. I noticed you cleaned up. I thank you for washing the dishes. I didn't even notice. I left it in the sink because I had a lesson and had no time. I didn't realize. And sometimes we take that stuff for granted, or walking the dog.
Mm.
Yeah, we take it for granted. And so be generous with giving verbal and emotional feedback.
Mm-hmm. 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 And on a daily basis, really speak. And I think one of the best things any couple can do for their marriage is to go on a marriage encounter
Yes.
weekend.
And it's not too early to sign up for United Marriage Encounter. We have usually 1 or 2 marriage encounter weekends a year here in Hawaii, in Oahu. And you can go on the line. We should have it on the web, on the
On the screen.
screen now. www.unitedmarriage.org.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe later on the tech can put it on the website, unitedmarriage.org, and check out our next weekend is going to be only the end of September. But the summer is coming soon, and then during the summer you might forget to sign up, and that there might be no space. So sign up now. We already had some couples who signed up. So we hope we see you at the next marriage encounter here in Oahu, September, the last weekend of September, I think 26, 27 or
25th to the 27th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And thank you so much for tuning in on Marriage on the Spot. We love to hear from you. Give us a call. We would be glad to talk with you, or if you have any feedback, we'll be glad to hear about it. Mahalo and God bless you.
God bless.